With the broadcast, time now for the special feature. And tonight we look back at a new but ugly political culture that is fast gaining root in the region that has been synonymous with political tolerance. Nyeri County is fast becoming the most dangerous county to hold a political event. Ibrahim Karanja explains in the special report, Tremor in the Mountain.
Ile maneno ilikuwa hapa ya kufuruga akina mama, kama serikali haitalinda akina mama, tulijitolea kuanzia leo kulinda hawa akina mama.
Na hiyo iwe funzo la mwisho. Iwe funzo la mwisho mtu kujaribu kuleta nyokonyoko hapa kwetu katika Central Kenya.
Nataka kuomba kitu moja. Tuko na viongozi wawili hapa.
We demand that the Nyeri police should immediately arrest and charge Honorable Gojiri for causing chaos in different areas of Nyeri town constituency.
People we see on the clip beating people with sticks were not my people. So anybody who says my people are the ones who came with sticks and knives would have to actually prove it.
Word that violence could erupt at a fundraising event in Nyeri a fortnight ago had spread across the country hours before the actual gathering, albeit in hushed tones. But to many, including the organizers, this Facebook post by Gatundu South MP Moses Kuria is what blew the cover of what they allege would have otherwise been a bloodbath, as innocent worshippers cling on the thought of what could have happened had the information not leaked. But why would anyone want to cause mayhem at a church fundraiser in aid of buying a parcel of land? At what point would such an event end up in running battles, gunshots, and bloodshed? And do the occurrences on Sunday, the 8th of November 2019, have anything to do with past skirmishes? KTN News can now authoritatively confirm that political battle for supremacy and a strive to prove loyalty and allegiance has led the region into the wrong turn. The sails are steering Nyeri into waters the region has not charted before. It is a route whose signs are characterized by violence, claims of sexual assault, and alleged abductions. There is a huge tremor in the mountain. Joseph Wangombe has experienced firsthand the wrath of political intolerance. He is the man captured on camera on the receiving end of a merciless beating.
Niliona watu wakikimbia, sasa hata mimi nikaanza kukimbia. Sasa mimi nilikuwa napita, sasa mimi nikaanza kukimbishwa na miti. Kutoka hapa sasa nikaanza kuchapwa.
The man clobbering him is Samuel Karaoke, the deputy speaker for the Nyeri County Assembly, who doubles up as the MCA for Oringo Ward, the area in which the meeting was held. Hours earlier, as guests arrived at the Giakanja Boys Secondary School, something rather unique was happening at the gate. Karaoke, the local MCA, together with area youths, were actively involved in what is akin to sorting out chaff from the wheat, based on the political camp one was perceived to be in support of. Two leaders were to be locked out of the event as well. Deputy Governor Dr. Caroline Karugu was the first target. By now, she had been branded as a member of the opposing faction based on her perceived closeness with quote-unquote the system, rather the pro-Uhuru Kenyatta team. Nyeri Town Member of Parliament Ngunjiri Wambugu, the face of Kieleweke, was the second persona non grata. While Dr. Karugu accessed the venue by riding in the same vehicle as the Nyeri woman representative Rahab Mukami, in this case the host of the political class, thus a darling to many who attended the function, it is Ngunjiri's arrival that would face mounted resistance. Neither him nor those perceived to support him were to access the venue. After all, History has it that violence had erupted in past two events, moments before or after Ngunjiri's arrival. MCA Karaoke and the team at the gate therefore would take no chances.
What happened is that the people of this county started getting very jittery by the level of impunity by the member of parliament and the inability and unwillingness of the police to take action against him and those young people. The young men from the church organized themselves because they were sure the police would not help them, and they asked the local MCA, who is also the deputy speaker, to join them to protect that meeting. This is a situation where citizens have taken it upon themselves to defend their own meeting from a rogue member of parliament whom the police are not taking action against.
Events leading to the actual date of the function had by all means set stage for a showdown. The AIPCA had initially organized the fundraiser in which Deputy President Dr. William Ruto was to be the chief guest as one that would be held on Friday 15th of November 2019. This plan would however not turn out to be, as just days before the function, word spread that President Uhuru Kenyatta would on the very same day be hosting Giama leaders at the Sagana State Lodge in the same county. Social media was ablaze following this new development, portraying a divided region. While a section of the electorate and their leaders hoped that the DP would cancel his trip to Nyeri, there was another that desperately hoped that he would still come, even with the president's visit still on. It was a battle for the Titans, but the AIPCA would eventually postpone the fundraiser. I met Ngunjiri Wambugu and sought to find out from him why political violence would only be witnessed in his constituency and why all the three past skirmishes had people pointing fingers at him.
So I'm the face of what now became an anti-Ruto faction, for lack of another word. And it was never really meant to be an anti-Ruto faction. It was just meant to be, it was actually, I still consider myself more of a pro-Uhuru faction than anti-Ruto faction. It's not just physical conflict. It's an ideological conflict that is now centered in Nyeri town. Why? Because the MP of Nyeri town has refused to join the bandwagon of other members of parliament who come from the region.
Coming in a meeting that has already started with this hooting and all this, perhaps was that necessary?
I think it's important for us to understand one thing. We are politicians. So nobody should imagine that I have to go into an event by myself. Part of how we do politics, some of us do politics, is that we want to have as many of our people with us so that you're able to see what we're doing. You're able to go and take it now as testimony back to the villages and say we were with Mheshimiwa and he did and he said and he's doing.
Well, you're on record to say that you mobilize your supporters. Then don't you think that actually gives credence to the people claiming that you come in with the people who cause chaos?
The fact that I have supporters who come for the events doesn't mean that those supporters are coming to spoil that event.
7 people had been arrested and would eventually be charged with incitement to violence and an alternative charge of being armed in public. The court, however, granted each of them a cash bail of 20,000 shillings. Sources within the police, however, depict the night of Sunday, the 8th of November, as one of terror and intimidation for the men in blue. They cite powerful political quarters that were demanding the release of 4 among the 7 people arrested. Notably, when the suspects were arraigned, 4 of them, Daniel Mwangi, Osman Ibrahim, Peter Mbau and David Washira, were represented by one lawyer. Was it a mere coincidence?
I had gone to the police station to take somebody who had gone to make a report. This narrative that I had gone to remove people, I want one police officer to tell me that I asked him to remove someone.
Have you sort of intimidated the police? And I have a clip of the presser you did on Monday to that effect, calling for the reshuffle of top police bosses.
Actually, not top, all.
Does that not amount to intimidation?
No. Let me tell you something. The people of Nyeri town deserve to be secured by police officers who are not partisan. They need to be secured by police officers who cannot be, who do not slant how they secure our constituency based on politics. How would you tell me policemen are not partisan in a situation like that? When I insisted that we need a reshuffle of our police in Nyeri constituency, it is because every time and we have seen it, every time there has been an incident or there have been incidences of insecurity that doesn't make sense, police get reshuffled. Every police officer, when they sign up, can work anywhere in the country. Police are transferred all the time. Police officers are transferred all the time. So when I hear people saying that I have gotten officers transferred, are they telling me that any person who gets transferred in Nyeri is my fault? What about the ones who are transferred into Nyeri?
If those officers are transferred, as he has demanded, what will happen is that officers now will fear to take action against him and his thugs. Officers will be intimidated and they will not be able to uphold the rule of law. And what will happen, there will be anarchy, because citizens will not agree to be intimidated by the MP and his gang. And since the police will have been intimidated that they cannot take action against him and his people, the people will take up arms and defend themselves. And I can tell you,
a second function where a woman parliamentary group, Christ and Inua Mama, had a development camp political meeting, yet again hosted by woman representative Rahab Mukami, a group of youth with political paraphernalia, including vuvuzelas, made an attempt to access the meeting venue. The convener had, however, communicated to the police not to allow them in. This led to a confrontation. The youth would eventually gain entry, sitting at a strategic position, shouting down anyone who attacked the Member of Parliament, Ngunjiri Wambogo.
I don't want to blame the youth. They are jobless, they are vulnerable. I want to blame the leaders. As a leader, instead of misusing the youth and taking advantage of their poverty and their vulnerability, you need to come up with programs to empower them.
Eventually, the MP drove in and stood among the crowd. At least 10 people were arrested from the fracas that ensued, but were later released unconditionally. 2 police officers would also unceremoniously be served with transfer letters, one to Wajir County and the other to Kiunga, Lamu County. During this year's Jamhuri Day celebrations, the skirmishes in Nyeri did not skip the attention of the leaders present.
Na ningetaka tukubaliane, siasa za kitaifa ziendelezwe, lakini zisije kutuharibu hapa Nyeri. Sisi tuna misimamo na inajulikana.
Nyinyi vijana, mwanasiasa atakupatia 400 uende urushe mawe, lakini wakati utashikwa nao security officers, utabeba msalaba yako wewe mwenyewe. Hakuna mtu yeyote ambayo ni above the law.
There are widespread reports that the county commissioner himself has been transferred to Homa Bay County, reports he vehemently denied in a phone conversation with KTN News.
Saizi watu wengi wanajiuliza maswali mengi huko nje. Kwa nini kuna furugu hapa Nyeri kila wakati? Na siasa bado iko mwaka 2.5 ama mwaka karibu ngapi hatujafikia huko. Tusikonganishe hawa wananchi, kwa sababu hakuna faida utaweza kupata wakati hawa wananchi wanapigana. Hakuna baraka utaweza kupata, na historia itakuja kutuhukumu sisi, sio kwa yale tunasema, lakini yale tunafanya na tunatenda.
We must maintain our respect, na tuachwe, na kama tuna shida ni zetu na tutasoti hapa, lakini sio watu wengine wanatoka kwao kuja hapa, wabaki kwao, waachane na sisi. Jambo hilo lazima tulikubali.
June 2019. Signs that Nyeri had taken on the slippery route of political intolerance were crystal clear during the launch of the NIB-funded Riamukuru irrigation project in Gatito, Morogoro ward. Yet again, 2 notable names were at the function: Nyeri Town MP Ngunjiri Wambogo and the woman representative Rahab Mukami. This time in the company of the chief guest, Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mwangi Kiunjuri. It was all rosy, up to the point where CS Kiunjuri took to the podium to warn against political rhetoric.
Kama mkona siasa ya tagataga ama tuereke mpeleke stadium. Sio kwa miradi ya nini? Kama sio miradi ya nini?
Ngunjiri would shortly arrive accompanied by a swarm of border operators. For a moment, violence would ensue with everyone, including journalists, scampering for safety. Wambugu took over the program, invited the cabinet secretary to make an address, then declared the meeting over. The past 1.5 years have witnessed an evident split of political ground in the larger central Kenya and in particular Nyeri County. 4 out of 6 members of parliament in Nyeri County are openly aligned to Deputy President William Ruto's 2022 agenda. They are Madera's Rigathi Gachagua, Othaya's Gishuki Mugambi, Tetu's James Gishuhi and Mukurweine's Anthony Kiai. Also in this team is woman representative Rahab Mukami.
Siasa na maendeleo haziwezi enda pamoja.
Kieni's Kanini Kega has successfully avoided being aligned to any side, while Nyeri Town's MP Ngunjiri Wambugu remains the outright rebel.
Honorable Ngunjiri must renounce his violent ways and must stop acting as the prefect of the Nyeri people, especially in regard to as far as their support for President Uhuru Kenyatta is concerned.
What appears to be happening is you are infringing on the rights of other people. Why would MP Ngunjiri sort of want to prefect us?
Let me make a point clear. I am at no point saying I am going to stop somebody from coming to do 2022 politics in Nyeri. I am telling them, I will tell you off. You have the right to come and say whatever you want. I have the right to tell you what I think about what you have said. You understand? And not just me. Even the people in Nyeri have a right to tell you what they think about what you have said.
The tremor also seemed to have affected the county executive, with Governor Mutahi Kahiga and his deputy Dr. Caroline Karugu reading from different scripts. While the governor, who insists outsiders are the cause of the heated political trouble in Nyeri, is in record to be in support of Deputy President Dr. William Ruto, Dr. Karugu has carefully avoided that tag. Last Sunday's funds drive at Giakanja Boys Secondary School was her first public meeting in Nyeri, attended by the DP in over 6 months.
Niseme wageni wetu wote, karibu, karibu tena sana huku Nyeri Town. Na tunapenda wageni, ama hatupendi wageni? Tunapenda, wakuja tena, wamekaribishwa. Karibuni sana, mjisikie mkiwa nyumbani.
It is the height of political temperatures on this side of the mountain. A county previously not associated with political intolerance finds itself in the deep end of political violence. Women now allege cases of sexual assault in political meetings and vocal youth taking a backseat in political happenings for fear of abductions. Administrators and police officers reporting intimidation and unfair transfers for their actions or lack of it during political fracas, and a shocked Nyeri citizenry still coming to terms with the new face of their motherland.
Nyeri people are peace-loving. They are very hard-working people. They are very amiable. They are people who like development. They are people who have values. They are people whose morality is above question. They are people who didn't want to be associated with running battles, with gunshots, with tear gas, with pangas and such things. I feel very, very saddened. What we are saying is that we feel very demeaned as a county because our name is very bad.
Nyeri historically doesn't take rubbish. We will not tolerate people to come from outside our county, to come and threaten us, to come and intimidate us, to come and try and make us or force us into a political position that we don't agree with. You are going to have resistance. And it's going to be resistance that, as far as I'm concerned, is going to be peaceful, but it will be resistance. Because that's just who we are as Nyeri. We just don't get pushed around.
All in all, the mountain is shaking, and violently so. How and when the mountain will erupt remains a matter of wait and see. It is the wish of many sitting at its base that the tremor will soon die off and take away with it the tension and upheavals it has dealt a region synonymous with political discipline. Ibrahim Karanja, KTN News.